close, man.
All righty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to On the Mic with Mike. Hold on one second. I'm sorry. I'll be right now.
All right, so I think we're live.
Yeah, we are. So we could take over On the Mic with Mike right
All
now.
right, so
We could lock that door, keep him out.
let's do it. So let's talk about how we really feel about Mike.
Yeah.
On the mic. This is our movie.
Yeah. Hold it still so they can scan the code.
Yeah, April 23rd. Oh, hold it still. Scan the code.
Yeah.
They won't be able to stand up. They're watching on their cell phones.
That's true. Yeah.
Belltowerpictures.com. Get your tickets. They're going fast.
Are they really?
They are.
Oh, I'm gonna get my family to get their tickets.
Yeah, the news release just went out last week, and so the publicity just starting up. It's already sold 125 tickets.
Wow.
All righty, folks. Sorry about that. That is live radio TV. Nicole Reed, my partner, the real estate agent, I was called away. She's here in the building. All righty. So this is part of the Mike King Biz Radio Network, ESPN Richmond 106.1, International Business Growth Radio, as well as CW Richmond TV every Wednesday and Friday, 5 a.m. David Powers, Martin Montgomery's in the building. Welcome back to the program, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Good to be here.
All righty. Last time we were here, we were talking about the Project Herd.
Right.
But that was in the rear view.
Mhm.
You guys are doing something dynamic now. Tell us who you are first, and then we'll go to your project.
Okay. Well, David Powers. I'm at least until May 1st, president of Belltower Pictures, and I'm retiring on May 1st.
Are you really going to give it up?
I'm really going to give it up. I mean it this
Please.
week.
Taking your hands off?
Please don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah, handing it off. I'm 72 years old. Been doing this 50 years. Started in 1973. Graduated from college and got my first job in TV. So it's time. It's a nice round number. 50 years. I've done all you can do in 50 years.
How do you keep finding a cool thing?
Well, it's not the cool things, it's the cool people.
Well, that is true.
Yeah, and when I met Martin Montgomery, that was the beginning of these two unusual and stellar projects. And Herd was a great experience, and that's as you say in the rearview mirror. This project, Anahita, A Mother's Journey, is going to be right up there with it. It's another people story. This is not an issue documentary. This is a character documentary, a very personal story of Anahita, who tells her story of escaping from Afghanistan in August of 2021. We found her through this gentleman, Jawad Wahabzadeh, who is also
Welcome to the program.
producer on the program. And I'll let Jawad tell a little bit about his journey, but it was a great sequence of introductions, meeting one person who introduced us to somebody else, who introduced us to somebody
That's
else.
sort of you guys' modus operandi.
That's how we operate.
You
That's
go
how we-
from one person because you're going into topics and meeting people who sometimes may look at you kind of suspecting.
Yeah.
Not exactly what you guys have in mind. So Martin, really quickly, let folks know who you are and what you do, because you're the cinematographer guy.
Sure. My name is Martin Montgomery. I'm actually the director of the film, the cinematographer, and the editor, and then I actually also helped produce it this time around. So I don't know. It's just been a fun project. It's an eye-opening project. Every time I direct something that is of a culture or an organization or a group of people that I don't know, it's always so eye-opening and rewarding to meet. And it's always a great reminder that humans are humans and we're more alike than we are different. And so this project, we wanted to start this project in a very similar fashion as Herd. Herd, we followed 5 characters, storytellers. We were thinking that we would do the same thing. We were going to try to find about 5 Afghan families. And we met this guy, and he shared one story, and David and I looked at each other like,
And said, that's the story.
that's the story. And then there's a little caveat to that. He goes, but it's in Minneapolis.
Mm.
We thought we were going to do it here in Virginia. So I'll let him say who he is. Joe, I say who he is and how he got us to Anahita.
Sure. So, my name is Joel Abzada, and at the time when this whole situation had unfolded in Afghanistan, a lot of the refugees were being brought here to the United States, but initially they were being housed at military bases across the country. One of the military bases was in New Jersey, where I served as an interpreter, and that's where I met Anahita, and I built a relationship with her on the base. And around the same time, I guess Martin and David were looking to make a documentary about this subject here in Virginia. And through a couple of contacts, I was put in touch with David and Martin, and I had the opportunity to come here and speak with them. They shared what they wanted to do for the documentary, and that's when I shared the story of Anahita. But yes, of course, they wanted to stay here local and shoot Afghan refugees here in Virginia, but they listened to Anahita's story and how powerful she is. And we decided to take a chance and fly over to Minneapolis. And when we went, David and Martin listened to her story, and that was it.
So as an interpreter, you talk to a lot of people. And during that time, you talked to this person, this person, this person. What was it about her story that kind of stuck?
That's a great question. So a lot of the people that made it through the airport during that chaos were young men. Very few families, but a lot of women that made it through came here. They were accompanied by a male. If you saw some of the footage of the airport or outside the airport, there were thousands and thousands of people trying to get through the gates. So for a woman who is pregnant with 5 young children to make it through that gate, it must have taken a lot of willpower and resilience. And that was one of the main reasons why we focused on Anahita, because she's just such a powerful character.
Pregnant with 5 kids?
Pregnant with 5 little
And
kids.
she makes it through.
She made it
Okay.
through.
Without her husband.
That's the story. I mean, a lot of times when people look at, and this is me being on the soapbox, people don't realize the power of America. People wake up every day and say, I'm going to go to America. Americans go to other places on vacation, but they understand that people will run next to an airplane to hang on with the idea that they're going to come here. So when you're talking about somebody coming here, wanting to get through the gate, pregnant with 5 kids, you got to tell that story. All right, so David, you guys, when you finished up with Herd and you were looking for the next thing, I remember you talking about you were going to do Afghan refugees 2 years ago or so.
That's about right. Yeah.
How did you land on that?
Well, I had heard Kate Ayers, who is the executive director of a nonprofit called Reestablish Richmond, and their work is to help refugees, not just Afghan refugees, but refugees who are coming to Central Virginia resettle. So they provide them, connections, help them make connections, help them find automobiles and jobs, and just do all the stuff that people need. So that's their gig. I had met her and heard her talk about the flood of Afghan refugees that were coming in the fall of 2021. And I thought, well, there's some stories there, some powerful stories. And so I started investigating a little bit. She introduced me to Dr. Sultana Salam, who is from Afghanistan, but she's been here, oh goodness, probably 20 years or more. She's a doctor and very active, obviously, in the Afghan community. She's the head of the Afghan Association of Central Virginia. And so talked with her about what we had in mind, and can you help us connect with some Afghan families? And I said, by the way, neither Martin nor I are Afghan. we don't speak Farsi or any of the other languages of the area. We don't understand the culture, and we feel like it's really, really important to have somebody on the core team making the creative decisions who understands the culture. Is it by any chance, do you know a filmmaker from Afghanistan?
And she
And
said,
she said, as a matter of fact, I do. And so she connected us with Jawad. Jawad had already done a short film called The Children of Kabul. I watched that and I said, this is our guy. He understands storytelling. He understands the culture. He has a heart for it. So we connected and met, and I said, come join the team. He said, okay.
so Jawad, when you and Martin get together, what's it like from the creator side? Because a lot of times non-creators don't get you guys. The business guys, a lot of times we don't get that. What's it like when you sit down with somebody from a different culture, but you guys are, and let me take a look at the poster right here. Sure. When you sit down with somebody from a different culture who's a technical guy like you, what's that like?
Oh man. Well, it didn't take long talking to Jawad that I knew that this was going to be not only a perfect relationship to tell this story, but a perfect relationship for life ongoing. I mean, this is an amazing human being. And for us to go to Minnesota together, we learned a lot about each other. I had a lot of faith in him because he had this great connection with Anahita. He had this passion for storytelling. And I don't know, it just was a good fit. So I put a lot of faith knowing that when you align yourself with the right people, knowing that they can do what they need to do, you put a lot of faith and a lot of trust that it will happen. And luckily it did. So.
Alrighty, let's talk about the particulars. How long did it take you to shoot the documentary? And it is a documentary.
It is.
It's a fast track, wasn't it?
This one was for documentaries. This was a fast track. I spent over 3 years on Herd. From the time I first got the idea to doing the research and then starting to shoot till the time it aired was about 3 years. This one was done in a year, so
Okay.
really fast. We started shooting. I believe it was either January or February of 22. We made amazingly just 3 trips to Minneapolis. How we got all that footage in 3 trips is it's pretty amazing in itself, and due in totality to these guys. And then edited, and we're going to have the world premiere.
April 23rd?
Flashing red lights, world premiere, April 23rd, Sunday night.
At the
7
Bird Theater.
At the Bird Theater, and there's
Tickets.
tickets are available on the website, belltowerpictures.com, belltowerpictures.com, and also we're having a pre-screening reception as a fundraiser for Belltower Pictures, starting at what time does it start?
5:30.
5:30. Thank you. 5:30 at the rooftop patio at the
Oh,
New York Deli next door. And the screening itself is, in fact, the tickets are just $10 for the screening, but it's a joint fundraiser. The proceeds of the tickets will benefit the Afghan Association of Central Virginia, Reestablish Richmond, and Belltower Pictures.
There you go. So we got something for you. What we do is we donate airtime that for a lot of times when businesses or groups have a silent auction or something, we'll say, hey, we'll give you a media campaign that a business would bid on, and you guys take the money, and then they're able to come on here and advertise what they do. We'll talk a little bit about that. Alrighty, one last time. It is Anahita at the Bird Theater, April 23rd, 7 p.m. Get the tickets. You know what? This is a worthy journey. You're not from here. Do you live here now?
My family does. but
Okay, so
I'm
you're back
in Northern
here.
Virginia.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're Northern Virginia. Okay, so you're back here. Oh, you guys are gonna be back again. You didn't know that. You guys didn't know. We'll be back again because we're gonna continue talking. I mean, that's a story right there.
Yeah, big time.
By the way, did we mention she was a police officer in Kabul?
Yeah.
Which was why she was at risk of being captured by the Taliban. It is an amazing,
Yeah.
amazing story. You can watch her talk, Mike. I didn't understand a word she was saying,
Yeah.
But you know
So-
it's powerful.
but
Yeah.
I hang on every word.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
What is the mood in the country now? Because when America left and things kind of settled down, what's the mood in Afghanistan now?
Unfortunately, despair, lack of jobs and opportunities. We constantly get reports of certain groups of people in certain regions living in starvation. But in certain parts, I can't say that anywhere the situation has improved, but in certain areas, I can say that has stabilized since the chaos that unfolded after the collapse of the Ghani regime. But I just hope that it improves over time.
There you go, John. Welcome to On the Mic with Mike Martin. Welcome back to the program, David. It's always great. We're going to touch base again. This will be on International Business Growth Radio. That's how important this is. My Saturday 10 a.m. show. It is a worldwide show, and we talk about issues that have an impact worldwide. So On the Mic with Mike King, we got to go. So real quickly, David, how can people find out information one last time? We got to let folks know.
Belltowerpictures.com. Right there on the homepage, you'll find a link to buy tickets to the reception and to the screening. And this will also air on public television nationwide, beginning in May.
You guys gonna pull out the hardware for this one like you did the last time? You guys brought in some hardware last time, didn't you?
We got an Emmy. Yeah. It's old hat for Martin. He's got 5 of them.
Oh.
Say,
He's
he's gonna be
shelf is
low
full
key,
of
yeah,
them.
full of them. That's
Mike, can I say one thing about the title
Certainly.
Anahita, a Mother's Journey? This story is just a prime example that mothers are the real superheroes of this earth, and it's very true. And so it's a great story of a mother's journey to overcome odds that we couldn't even imagine. Absolutely.
Well, congratulations, guys. It's always a pleasure. On the Mic with Mike, we're here. Jihad is with us, Martin, David. We got to run. All right, folks, take care now. Thanks. Take care.